I like to play Rushdown. Rushdown is all about getting up close and personal, suffocating your opponent with pressure, keeping them guessing at every turn, and never letting them have a chance to think. But how does it feel to be on the other side? Hey, I'm Nico, and today we're talking about how to stop Rushdown in 2xKO. Thanks for all the support on my How to Beat Zoning guide, and a huge thank you to Meridian and Glebe, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, for the recommendation to make this video. This video is split into chapters, so feel free to skip around to whatever part you need.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
Rushdown players thrive on getting the momentum. Once they get in, they'll do everything they can to stay in your face. Don't try to react to their offense, try to prevent it. Every Rushdown character has to take risks to close the gap between you, whether it's jumping, running, dashing, or swaying, so try your best to not let them start their offense in the first place. It's all about catching you off guard and filling your mind with so many options that you freeze up and just block. Once that happens, it can feel impossible to fight back, but there are actually things you can do while on defense to still stay on top during the fight. So let's go over a few ways to slow down the pace and take control of the match. 2xKO is fast. There's a lot happening on the screen in projectiles, characters, and assists flying at you. Whether you're new to fighting games or have been playing for a while, things can get overwhelming very easily. If you can find ways to slow the game down in your head, you'll start seeing more clearly what your opponent is doing. Most Rushdown players run on autopilot. Since they have to rely on making quick decisions, they end up repeating the same set of moves over and over and over again once they get near you. Start watching for these habits, and once you recognize your opponent's rhythm, it becomes way easier to find the gaps to take your turn back. That's when the match starts feeling less like a chaotic playground fight and more like a chess match.
I'm gonna block this whack ass mix up.
When you're stuck blocking pressure, it's easy to panic. Most players lose not because they guessed wrong, but because they panicked and tried to mash or jump out too early. Since 2xKO is a tag game, your opponent has a ton of ways to cover their pressure. Assists, delaying attacks, fake outs, so finding an actual opening can feel impossible if you're not patient. If you're stuck blocking, try to hold down and back, and only stop crouching when your opponent does a move that hits high. These are called overhead attacks, and are almost always slower and reactable if you pay attention. Another thing, Rushdown players love conditioning you. For example, if your opponent grabs you twice in a row, you'll probably try to break the grab or jump out the next time they get close, and then boom, they just stand still and leave you there with your pants down wide open for a full combo. The key is to stay calm and mix up your defensive responses so they can't predict you. Luckily, 2xKO gives you a lot of options to choose from on defense, so mixing up how you respond won't be that hard. Let's go over some of them.
I want to share with you what to do if you're surrounded by a group of men and they attack you.
Push assist. Pressing the assist button while you're blocking will cause your assist to push the opponent away from you, letting you run up and start your own offense. Just be careful not to let your assist get hit, since it stays for a little while afterwards. Backdash. This one's kind of self-explanatory, but 2xKO gives you a lot of movement by letting you bind your dash to a single button. Separating yourself from your opponent by quickly dashing away allows you to take more time to set up defense. The same principle applies with up backing, which is where you jump while holding back so you're always blocking and protected against ground approaches. Retreating guard. Pressing back in your dash button while blocking lets you quickly do a little move that slides you further from your opponent. This is really helpful to help gain some space, but be careful because you cannot block low while you're in the retreating animation. Parry. This goes back to recognizing patterns, but if you have at least one bar of super meter, you can spend it by pressing light plus heavy, or bind it to a single button, and if you time the input at the exact same time your opponent hits you, it will completely negate the attack, giving you an opening to strike back and regaining your super meter. If you mess up the timing though, the attack will still hit you and you do lose the bar of meter. Keep in mind you'll have to crouch when you parry in order to negate a low hitting move, but if you can predict how your opponent will attack, this can completely turn the momentum of the fight in your favor. Throw escape. If you can predict when you think your opponent will try to throw you, you can press the throw button at the same time as them to escape it. You will be left vulnerable if you predict wrong, so only try to use this if you feel confident that your opponent will try to throw you. Get up attack. If you get knocked down on the ground, you can hold S1 or S2 to do an invincible attack that knocks your opponent away from you. Be warned, just like most other defense mechanics, if your opponent predicts that you're going to use a get-up attack, they can block it, leaving you vulnerable and open to being attacked. Recovery. Holding a direction when you get knocked down will let you quickly recover in the direction you're holding. Try to mix up which direction you recover in each time, so it's harder for your opponent to stay on top of you. Break. This mechanic has a lot of depth, so we're just going to do a basic overview of the defensive side of it right now. If you see that this bar under your health is full, pressing assist plus S1 or assist plus S2 at any point will cause this big explosion effect that knocks your opponent away from you. This is the strongest method of getting your opponent off of you, but be careful. If you break while your opponent is blocking, you will get knocked back and off the wall instead, letting your opponent get a full combo on you. So try to not be too predictable with it. If you only have one character left, or you're using the sidekick or juggernaut fuse, your break is actually replaced with Fury, which has the same knockback effect, but now grants you a 25% damage boost, 25% damage reduction, heals any gray health, and lets you cancel any normal or special attack into a dash. So this is very strong for taking back momentum in a pinch. Armored attacks. Some characters have what is called armor on certain attacks. If a move has armor, it takes a certain number of hits in order to interrupt the attack. Here are a few examples. Braum's Unbreakable. When hitting an opponent with Glacial Breaker, Iceborne Smash, or Heart of the Freljord, Braum gains this ice effect on his shield called Unbreakable. This gives Braum one hit of armor on his light, medium, or heavy attacks, and his special moves. Braum can also hold back in S2, which quickly holds up your shield and gives you unlimited hits of armor, so you can walk forward without getting hit. But beware, you can be thrown. Blitzcrank's Garbage Collection. If Blitzcrank has at least one bar of steam, his command grab Garbage Collection gains one hit of armor. You can tell when the armor is active by this blue sphere that appears around him. Darius has what is called a Reversal, or DP, in his down forward S2 Grievous Wheel. This move is a fast attack with one hit of armor, so it can be used when your opponent is pressuring you to quickly block their attack and knock them across the screen.
Sounds like a
Hoopla! Hoopla!
A lot of characters in 2xKO have tools to keep your opponent away from you. There are obvious characters like Jinx and Teemo, who have a whole set of moves designed solely to keep you out. There are also other long-range attacks like Alawi's Tentacles or Braum's Revolving Door that help you set the pace. Any move that allows you to set up protection for yourself and keep your opponent away from you will make the risk a lot worse for the rushdown player trying to get in on you. If you can force your opponent to chase you instead of the other way around, you're the one in control. When the rushdown player is the one feeling helpless, that's when you know you've won the mental game. So that's all for today. There's so many ways you can defend yourself in 2xKO that I could never cover them all in one video. So if there's anything specifically you need help with, let me know in the comments and I can try and give some advice or make another video in the future. I hope at least some of these tips are able to help slow down the game and let you enjoy your time in 2xKO. The game has been a lot of fun for me and I hope to see more people out there having as much fun with it as I have. If this helps, consider checking out my other guide on how to be zoning in 2xKO to understand the matchup from the opposite side. If you've been enjoying the videos, make sure to like and subscribe so you can keep up to date with what's coming next. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.